Good morning everybody. I am Dr. Nitin Joshi, Professor in Urology with teaching experience of 25 years working as consultant neurosurgeon in Panvel. Today we will see one of surgical step involved in many surgeries, and that is mobilization of kidney. Mobilization of kidney is required for nephron sparing surgery in case of renal cell carcinoma or partial nephrectomy for removal of non-functioning moiety of duplex kidney in case of ureterosil or ectopic ureter. Mobilization of kidney is also required in case of pyeloplasty or ureterocalicostomy for Pugh junction obstruction. Mobilization of kidney is also required for renal dehiscence with inferior nephropexy in case of ureterocalicostomy or in case of ileal ureteral replacement to achieve tension-free anastomosis between ureter and bladder. That is, in case of ileal ureter, ileum will be acting as a ureter, but due to the mobilization of kidney and inferior nephropexy, the length of ileum required for the replacement of ureter will be less, and hence the complications of electrolyte imbalance, acid-base imbalance will be reduced due to less segment of ileum required. Mobilization of kidney is also required in case of simple nephrectomy or even adrenalectomy. Approach to Gerota's fascia is either extraperitoneal or intraperitoneal. As everyone knows, kidney is covered by whitish fibrous capsule. Outside fibrous capsule is perinephric fat. Perinephric fat is maximum along the lateral convex border of kidney and medial concave border, where this perinephric fat fills the hilum. Actually, hilum is identified due to presence of fat. Outside perinephric fat is fibrous renal fascia called Gerota's fascia. It is having two layers: anterior layer of renal fascia called fascia of Told, and this fascia of Told actually faces the peritoneum and visceral organs, and second layer, that is posterior layer of the renal fascia called fascia of Zuckerkandl. Fascia of Zuckerkandl faces abdominal wall and its musculature. There are three trabeculæ which are extending from anterior layer of Told or posterior layer of Zuckerkandl through perinephric fat to renal capsule. Comparatively, strong trabeculæ are present at lower pole of kidney. Opening of Gerota's fascia longitudinally is the first step of mobilization of kidney. With artery forceps, anterior or posterior layer of Gerota's fascia is opened to create so much of gap so that two fingers of hand can be inserted, and then under control of two fingers, the fascia is cut open in upward and downward direction with cautery. While mobilizing kidney, assistant holds perinephric tissue at stretch near the capsule of the kidney. These septas are split or cut either with cautery or blunt tip scissors. Mobilization of kidney started first along the lateral convex border along with part of anterior and posterior surface of the kidney. Of the two poles, lower pole is mobilized first and then the upper pole. During polar dissection, polar vessels may come across which may have to identified and taken care of. The lower polar vessels may have to be properly protected. This is because sometimes they are supplying the ureter. The upper pole is attached to undersurface of diaphragm by strong fibrous attachments. These strong fibrous attachments are identified, isolated, ligated and cut so as to mobilize upper pole of the kidney completely and away from ipsilateral adrenal gland. Ipsilateral adrenal gland is present in Gerota's fascia but in separate compartment. Traction is given on the lateral border to expose medial border and hilum as well as renal vessels. Whenever there is presence of very thick layer of perinephric fat, Babcock forceps are used so as to give traction to mobilize the kidney. After mobilization of kidney, then depending upon the requirement, whether the skeletonization of the vessel, identification of the vessel, or ligation of the vessel, or repair or mobilization of the ureter is carried out. Thank you very much.